fear. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. Biggity boom, have no fear. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is in the place to be. And I'm going to jump right into it because I have been getting a lot of questions, and it's never on me. I will never take responsibility or blame for the young shooter not being on the podcast. And I feel like we had some off microphone conversations. He's ready to come clean. I'm gonna plug him in here. Bringing in now, the young shooter Dean Collins is back. They call him Deuce Pacino, Deuce Collins, Dean Collins, but we love to call him the young shooter. The young shooter is back in the place to be. How are you, my friend?
I am doing good, man. I was just going to say that your teeth look so white. Your teeth look white. I think my teeth look white. I don't know if it's our computers, but you're brushing a little bit more, a little harder, and it looks good. It looks good.
Thank
we both
you very
have black
much.
Hats on. Did you plan that? Did you know that I was going to wear the hat?
No, I just was wearing my hat because I need a little bit of a haircut. Did you wear?
Me too.
Do you want to keep the hat like that, or maybe turn it on backwards?
Well, actually, I'm going to leave it like this, but I've been wearing a hat too because I've been needing a haircut. My hair has gotten so long, but I actually got it cut yesterday, and it looks like still. So the hat's staying on. But
can you wear your hat backwards?
Yeah, I can. Do you want me to do that for
let's
the
see
show?
What it looks like backwards.
All right.
That's good. That's good with the headphones like that. Let me see. That's pretty good. I like it. I don't mind it.
I feel like a high school bully from the 90s or something. Like this isn't, I don't know about that.
Okay, then flip it back around.
I'll just leave it. Okay.
Flip it.
Yep, we're flipping here. Hold on. But
let me see. Nope, now it's crooked.
Is that more appropriate?
No, it's crooked. Straightened out.
Sorry about that.
Still crooked. Why don't you just keep the hat on the way it was?
It's on. Don't worry. Why don't we just not worry about the hat at this point? Why don't we just move on with the rest of the podcast?
Let's just say we're happy to have the young shooter back on. I am posting this full episode on YouTube. We have a YouTube page at Michael Rapaport. The YouTube universe hasn't really been introduced to a lot of the young shooter, but here he is. Dean Collins, Deuce Pacino. How are you? Let's just start with that. How are you, Dean?
I'm doing good. I just got back from Palm Springs, so I had like a nice, relaxing vacation. I've been working really hard the past 2 months, and so I had a nice vacation. I went out to Palm Springs with my girlfriend for her birthday. Got couples massages, doing it all up, and that's it, bro. What's up with you? What's going on? You look good.
Time out. When you were doing your couples massages with your girlfriend for her birthday, were you making noises?
I don't do the noises. Like I know that's just like you do them. Like it's just like it's nothing to you. You'll just. I don't like to make people uncomfortable like around me.
That's
I don't want
not
the
making people uncomfortable. Were you getting a deep tissue? What kind of massage are you getting?
I think some deep tissue, but I don't love massages because I'm kind of a with it. Like I like light to medium pressure. I don't need that digging in me. Like,
see, that's why I was asking you about the noises, because I know you've talked about this, and when I'm like, oh, I want to go get it when we're on the road. I remember in Vancouver, I went into one of those places, and I was like, yo, like. Do whatever. You could do gymnastics on my back. I don't care. Like the more the merrier. Feet, shoulders, back, hips. I'm down. And you might have gotten like, I don't know, but I know you mentioned you like massage. So when you said I did couples massages, I innocently said, were you making noise? And then you start throwing it back at me. And I think that's one of the things we're going to talk about as to where you've been on the podcast lately, because like, anyway, you weren't making noises and...
Yeah, no, I wasn't making noises. I couldn't breathe, because your face is just pushed on that face mat thing. You can't breathe. So she was like, oh, we added eucalyptus in there so that opens up your passages. But somehow I was blocked. So she's like, take a nice deep breath in. And I was stuffed. But so I was kind of waiting for the massage to be over. But that's okay. It was really relaxing.
That's why I asked you. Let's just get to the more important question. Did your girlfriend enjoy the massage?
She loved it. She loved it. And that's the most important thing.
Good.
And,
good, because we don't give a if you liked it. You seem ungrateful about the massage. Most people would be so happy to get a massage, and they'd be like, "Oh, if you're like with the eucalyptus, and I can't breathe."
I'm paying for it. I mean, what do you mean I'm ungrateful? I'm paying for the thing. It's a fortune. Couples massages ain't fucking cheap. They
jam you up. They jam
you up for that 60 minutes. But we had that nice hot lotion, like scorching hot lotion. I had some thermal bed. It was heated. They did gemstone rocks on my back.
Did you ever go ow?
Well, she was giving me, like I said, my neck is all f***ed up. I've been working kind of hard, like videography the past 2 months. It's all my tension really builds up in my upper shoulders and my neck. And she was like, there were so many nuts. And then she was like, she took the elbow and she got on top of my back and she started going, like, she like dragged that elbow right up to the top. I was like, oh, but I mean, it was good. I needed it. It was like a good hurt.
What else did you guys do on the trip? Because you sent me some pictures and it sounded like a good time. And I know you've been busting your ass, which is also one of the reasons why you haven't been on the last few weeks. I tease, but you've been working your ass off to pay for a fantastic, amongst other things. You are a young adult, so go ahead.
Thank you, bro. That's really nice. Yeah, thank you, man. But yeah, man, we had a great time. We stayed at this place called the Tommy Bahama Resort. The service was horrible. I got a nice Costco travel deal. I was really excited about it, and I had to call them and be like, you got to replenish the towels. You know, you got to replenish, like, we have champagne glasses. We used the champagne last night. Time to give us some new glasses. Some of the curtains are off the hinges. The door to the bathroom doesn't shut. And not only does it not shut, but once you shut it, it doesn't lock. So I need I need you to fix that lock because I'm spending a lot of money to be here. I started to feel like a character from the White Lotus. It really turned into the White Lotus where it's like my girlfriend's kind of like, it's all good. Like, we're having a good time. And I'm like, no, it's not fine. I'm spending a lot of money to be here and to give you a good birthday gift and a beautiful birthday weekend. And my standards are a little bit higher than that. So I called, I expressed some of my frustration. I did it in a very non-offensive way. I didn't do it in the way that you would do it.
It sounds like it was really not offensive.
No, I don't do it like this. I don't do it in the way that I'm relaying it to you. This is all internally because they'll call and be like, "How's the service?" And I'll go, "It's fantastic. We're having a great time."
You got to tell them how's the service.
Yeah. So I ended up doing that.
And my queen, because you publicly said, "My Pisces Queen. My Pisces Queen isn't comfortable, and if she ain't comfortable, I ain't comfortable."
Right. And so I ended up doing that, and I gave it. I told them, like, look, we're not happy here, blah, blah, blah. I spent a lot of money here. They ended up giving me $100 resort credit and two passes to the day spa and all that. I ended up collecting it at the front desk. The manager was like, nah, 100's not enough. There's two of you guys. It needs to be 150. I'm gonna hook you guys up even more. So anyway, it was good. I went to the casino, did some gambling.
When you come back, we'll give you 10% off. And you're like, we ain't coming back.
I'm never coming back. I'm sorry. And you're lucky I'm not writing you a Yelp review at this point.
Right. You're not writing a Yelp review, but we're going to air your ass out at the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast, which
exactly.
That's way worse than a Yelp review. This right here. This right here, we need to start doing more reviews. We hold these motherfuckers' feet to the fire.
You got to hold them accountable, and they're jacking up these prices these days. I mean, these hotels out in Palm Springs and all this are like $700 a night. I mean, these places are $200 a night. They bang you up.
You said the casino, and I gotta say, if Miles and Jordan ever did a compilation of Dean Collins, Deuce Pacino's casino stories.
Well, they call me Deano Casino. I don't know if you knew that. I don't think that moniker has ever been on the podcast, but the drummer of my band, when we were making music, they called me, they would say Deano Casino because I was the gambler. And I forgot to mention that, but that rings. That's got a nice ring to it.
I got to be honest. I never heard that. And I'm going to, babe, do you know that they call Deano Casino? Never. Yo, that's dope, man.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool because I just didn't have like any nicknames growing up, and it just seems like there's just a flood of them now, and I'm just happy to take any of them. So yeah, Deano Casino. You've been with me at the casino though,
but your casino stories are absolutely. I mean, they're fantastic, and I'm sure your girlfriend did not want to go to the casino, but she goes, I'm going to let the dog loose and you're going to go out there.
Yes.
And did you bring her? Does she go? And did anything fantastic happen? Because even when nothing bad happens, something bad happens with you at the casino.
Exactly. And my girlfriend doesn't gamble. She doesn't know how to play poker. She doesn't know how to play blackjack. So she doesn't like it. But she's like, oh, maybe this time I can have a drink while you do your thing and I can kind of get into it because I don't know what any of it means. And so we ended up having a good time. She came with me. I ended up winning like $300, paid for some of the massage. It was really nice. And then this guy was really the pit boss there was blocking me or something because he came over while I'm betting and I'm doing really well at this thing. He said, I'm going to need to see some ID. And I was like, sure, here's my ID. You know, I'm going to be 35 in 2 months from now. Okay. This is a 21 and up casino. This
you should
guy,
be happy, mother. Be happy that they're asking you for your ID.
I am. And then he looks at it. He looks at me. He's like, no. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, no. And then he starts embarrassing me in front of the whole table. He goes, I'm going to scan this in front of you. That's how much I don't believe you. And I was like, do your thing. This guy's
He said that to you?
Yeah, he goes, I'm going to scan this. And so he takes his little scanner and he's looking at me.
I don't mind that he scanned it, but he said, I'm going to scan this in front of you like he's trying to embarrass you.
He was just being a my girlfriend started like talking back to him being like, okay, like stop. So he starts scanning it and everyone at the table's just like, let's move it along. And he goes, I still don't believe it. I still don't believe it. And I'm like, okay, man, like you're balding. I'm not balding.
Does this look like that's what you should have did.
Right. I mean, no, I might have caught an assault charge for that, but I didn't do that. But
you don't think that's a good idea to say you should have pulled your dick out?
No, I don't think that's a great idea, man. Maybe that's something that you handle on your own like that. But this guy his hair was so fucked up and he was younger than me. And this is what hurt him because he's 30 and he had little loose hairs in the front of his forehead. And then it was all patchy everywhere. He looked and he was like, my hair's going and I don't know why you look better than me. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like you look like I'm here gambling with my girlfriend. Just let me gamble and move it along. So he's talking to me while I have like $100 on the hand and I end up losing everything talking to this guy. I was like, this is bad vibes. Let's get the out of here. Yeah, he jinxed it. We had a good time up until then, and I really wanted to redeem myself on the way home from Palm Springs, so I stopped at Morongo Casino, but my girlfriend really didn't want to go in at that point. So she was a trooper, and she waited in the parking lot in my car while I walked in for a half hour and played blackjack, and I won about $180. So it was a successful trip, and no crazy stories, but again, that one I was getting carded. You have to be 18 and up at Morongo. So, I mean, I don't know.
So when you went to Morongo, she said, I'm good. I'll just wait in the car.
Yeah. So she waited in that parking lot.
You birthday boy, you let your girlfriend wait in the car for a half hour because it was her birthday weekend. You think that's what she wanted to do?
The birthday was over, okay? We got there on her birthday on the 21st. The 22nd, we're having couples massages. The 23rd, I'm having a reservation here. What point does it end? Your birthday's on the 21st.
You gotta ask your Pisces Queen. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Ask your Pisces Queen. I'm not your Pisces Queen.
But
I'm
listen,
just saying
that's why
that might come back to bite you in your ass.
I know you're not my Pisces Queen, okay? I would never refer to you as my Pisces Queen, but I'm just saying if the birthday's on the 21st and we're celebrating a gorgeous weekend, shouldn't the birthday end on Monday?
It's over.
Because now she's got a plan. She might have a plan to do something with her friends for this weekend. And I'm like,
I know.
We're done.
They go on and on with these birthdays. I mean, it's never stopping with women and their birthdays. It's, do this with my boyfriend. I'm going to do this with my family. Then I'm going to be with my girl. It's like, it's just
right.
Come on, grow up. How about man? Just happy birthday and let's move on. It doesn't have to be a whole thing.
But I expect on my birthday that we could have like a double weekend for my birthday because it's a special time, May 30th. You know, that weekend, and then maybe the next weekend.
You're going to bring up your birthday in May when my birthday's around the corner in March. Double nickel. That's what you're going to do?
To be honest with you, I literally not only did I forget that your birthday was in March, I forgot that you even celebrate birthdays, that you have your own birthday. I was like so focused that my birthday was in May that I was like, I totally forgot that you also celebrate birthdays like the rest of the world and like the human beings. Sometimes I forget that, like, you have a day that you were born, that you came out of your mother's vagina, and you were birthed, and she, your mom birthed the fucking Antichrist. But I forgot about that. What's your game plan for the 20th?
I don't know. I'm asking you. What
Don't
are you
ask
going to
me.
do? No. I'm
Ask
asking
your wife.
you. I'm asking you. What are you going to do for my 55th birthday? What am I getting? What am I getting from you?
Celebrate it like any other day. Like, I'll probably go get dinner with either a friend or my girlfriend that night.
My man.
What are you doing for your birthday?
No. Prepare something. I'm telling you now. Like, it's been cute. 54. We went through the ringer. 50. It was COVID. Cool. We couldn't do anything. We did fun trips to Target with gas masks and all that. 55, you need to come up with something for my 55th birthday, my dude.
And I know that, we tend to, like, discuss this every year. We go through the, what are you getting me for my birthday? What am I getting you?
I'm telling you, I'm not playing.
And I know, and I need to remind the listeners that this is not a bit. This is not something that we're just joking about, because off the air, off the podcast, I am getting texts starting this month about what I'm doing for your birthday. And that's not on the podcast. That's just that's you. It does mean a lot to you. And I think that in the beginning I always thought it was a joke and we're kind of razzing each other, but no, you do tend to remind me like 2 months out to get something or have something planned. It's not 2 months out.
My birthday's in 3 weeks, motherfucker. My birthday's in 3 weeks, motherfucker. And I'm turning 55. That's real.
Great. How do you feel about that? What are we looking back on? I think that
number stinks. That number stinks. This whole 55 is the new 30. It ain't.
No.
It don't feel like it. Physically, mentally, emotionally, nothing about it feels close to 30, 35, 40. It sounds like 55. It sounds like principal age. It sounds like.
What was the age? That you turned where you were like, oh, things are feeling different. Like, I don't like this number.
This one.
Did you remember? No. Come on. You can't say nothing before that. You didn't hit 52 and go.
Nah, 52 didn't fuck me up because, it just didn't. 50 sounded cool. And like I said, my whole 50th birthday thing got skewed because of COVID. 55 sounds like some senior citizen. 55 sounds like Social Security, like, retirement funds. Like, there's things you do at 55. You got to like file paperwork and.
Yeah. What paperwork are you filing?
Not
retirement.
It's all retirement.
Right.
All sorts of shit. All sorts.
Yes. Interesting.
It's a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I'm not excited about that number. Now, the most important
I wouldn't be
thing,
either. I wouldn't be either. And I think it's important to not talk about it with your friends, but to talk about it with your wife or like a professional to talk about, just your insecurities regarding that number. Not to me, not to anybody on the podcast, but maybe just talk about that with your wife, because I don't want to hear it.
You just asked me, how do I feel about turning? You brought it up, and now you're saying,
I didn't know you were so sad about it. I thought you were going to be like, oh, it's just another birthday. I'm excited. I didn't know it was going to turn into like, you seem like really depressed about it. It's just a number. I wouldn't feel like, I don't think you need to think it's senior citizen age. I guess you could probably get the senior citizen
I'm telling you, I'm
movie
getting
ticket.
letters from banks. I'm getting letters from places. I'm getting things in the mail. They send you shit when you're turning 55, like to prepare you for something.
AARP, yes.
AARP and like that.
I've heard of all that. All that shit that they try and sell you on those infomercials, like, yeah, okay. Well, that's okay, man.
Check this out, big dog. Check this out.
What?
When I met you, I think I was 35.
35. I don't know when we shot the pilot of The Ward Home.
It don't matter.
35 then. 2005.
Just know this, big dog.
My age.
Just know this. I was 35 when I met you. You're turning 35 this year. So as quick as this is gone, you're going to be getting that AARP letter also. Remember that, motherfucker.
No, I know. I hear you, brother. I do hear you, because I'm feeling it right now. Just at this age, I'm like, It's moving quick, and I'm starting to understand what people say. Like, it's moving fast, and yeah, me being your age when we shot the TV show, but I have all this time. I mean, look how long ago that was. We're talking 20 years ago. I have all that time to get to your age, brother. So I have all this fun times ahead of me.
Right.
You know.
But the next time we're going to be having this conversation is I'm going to be 75,
55.
and you'll be like, "Yo." I remember, like a long time ago, you said letters come in the mail.
That's
and I remember
crazy.
You know, like I had to file paperwork. I'm getting the same paperwork. Hopefully we'll have that conversation right here on this podcast. Woo!
That might be,
yeah.
and that might be a historical moment of being one of the most long-running podcasts ever. I mean, if we're talking a 30-year podcast,
at that point, you know,
we should be doing some Boyhood. We should be doing some Richard Linklater. Like, he wanted to create a movie in the span of 12 years. Can you do something in the podcast space here?
We should be. Anyway,
but
enough with my bird.
Sorry, I was going to transition it.
Go on. Go. What were you going to say?
What were you going to say
before I was finished speaking? Go on.
I was going to take the reins and say that I think this is a good opportunity to talk about where I've been the past month, the logistics of the podcast, and I know you said it's not on you, it's more on me. And so, did you want to talk about that?
No, you talk about it. You share. We know you've been busy. We like to break your balls, but we know you've been busting your ass working. We also like let's talk about the thing that stuck out for me. You said, I think that sometimes I know my mom and my father are watching and watching and listening, and not only watching and listening, they have speakers throughout their house, so they're listening and they're hearing all of it. And
yes.
and that got in your head, and I was like, what are you talking about? So
I just like my
start with that. Start with that.
No, exactly that. My parents have been like hitting me up, being like, "Oh, we've been playing the podcast like in our condo over like the loudspeakers. Like, we have it in the bedroom, we have it in the bathroom, we have it in the living room, and like we've been listening to it. Remember that story that you talked about?" And I'm like, yeah, I don't want you doing any of that. I don't want you blasting the podcast when I'm on the podcast. I don't want to have to think about like censoring my. Not that I'm sitting here talking about crazy stuff or crazy stories, but still, it's like it's not a performance. This is me, but still, like we're on wax here. It's a podcast, like. And I don't want to have to filter myself or be in my head thinking, oh shoot, maybe I don't want to talk about that because like my dad's sitting on the toilet listening to me. Like, I don't want to have to think about those things while we're recording. So I've been kind of like, I don't know if I want to do it this week because like, it's just that it's got nothing to do with the podcast. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with me of like where I am. I'm Mr. Cool or whatever. I'm just like, I just don't want to have to censor myself. Your mom listens to the podcast, right? How do you feel about that?
I mean, my mom listens to the podcast. My mother-in-law listens to the podcast. It's a worldwide phenomenon. Shout out to the people all over the world that listen to the podcast. I will say, you've never said anything that you need to take back.
No.
As we are trained professionals and we let it all hang out, but it is within reason. And I don't think you should be concerned about any of it. You've rarely gotten yourself into any problems on the podcast. I think there was one thing a long time ago where you said something about a girl. I don't know, but it was not. It didn't even turn into a big thing. But other than that,
Kibi helped me with that big time. I remember that. Yeah, Kibi helped me with that. I was spiraling with that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you say anything crazy. I don't think I say anything crazy. And, you know, I think, you need to show up more. There's a lot going on in the world. The young shooter, Deano Casino, you bring joy, you bring light, you bring a different perspective. And, and I think that also what we should do is you should break out your camera on your end. I should break out my camera on my end. We film this in 4K and we get this up more consistently because we know where the gold is. You just gotta dig it out a little bit. But that's what I think we should be doing because we got Oscar week coming up. Have you seen pivoting? Is there any other reason as to where you've been, what you've been doing that you need to share? Get off your chest as to where the you've been for the last few weeks. Anything?
No. I mean, other than that, what I just told you, which was total honesty, I've just been in terms of freelance work and all that. has been the busiest 2 months of like years that I've had in the freelance world, which is good. And I've been saving up, trying to, pay for things, whatever. But I do want to break it down and tell you, I told you a couple weeks ago, I really want to come to Canada. I know we could talk about this off, but if you want, I'm saying it right here on the podcast. If you want to lock that in, I'm coming. I'm down.
When we get off the thing, we're gonna send an email to our travel agent extraordinaire, Vince.
Yes,
I'm
shout out Vince.
I'm performing in Edmonton the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Next week, the 6th, 7th, and 8th. I've never been to Edmonton. You ever been to Edmonton? I'm gonna tell you right now, from New York, it's a little bit of a to get to. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a to get to. I don't know why.
Where is that? Like more on my side?
Huh?
Is that like more on my side of the world, or is like?
I think it's like in Chicago area. Like I think it's like in the middle.
Canada's, damn, it's like above California, above Washington, going all the way to New York. It's like that is huge. Canada's huge.
When we get off the phone, we are going to email travel agent extraordinaire the 6th, March 6th, 7th, and 8th. And that'll be a good time for you to give me my pre-birthday gift. March 6th, 7th, and 8th, I'm performing at the Comic Strip in Edmonton. Done. Let's lock and load it. Let's pull the trigger on that. And it'll be, like I said, it's a little bit of a to get there, but if you do get there, considering it's in Canada, and we've had nothing but good times in Canada from when we were in Toronto, we were in the Comedy Festival. Yeah, and Vancouver. So yeah, let's pull the trigger on that, and let's pivot into. Have you seen anything? Have you watched anything? Oscars are coming up. We will do our full Oscar recap next week. But what have you watched? What have you seen? I was talking about the Gabby Petito documentary.
Watch that. So horrible. I mean, that happened a few years ago, and man, that was a tough watch too. I mean, these true crime docs, you forget that there's like, these are real people at the other end of this. It's not just entertainment. Another true crime doc, but that Brian Laundrie, what a piece of shit. But his parents were so horrible with the way that they handled that whole situation and being like, we got a lawyer, talk to our lawyer. Like, they were so scummy. And Burn, after reading this, I'll help you bury bodies. I mean, they are real scumbag parents, like terrible and really horrible what happened.
Not
to
even
that
scumbag
girl.
Parents, they're scumbag people.
Oh, yeah, scumbag people, evil, really, really evil. And it's sad.
Was there no charges brought up to the parents? Like, there was nothing to do? Wow.
No, I think that maybe there was like a settlement or something, or they had to pay something. I don't know what it was. I know they got sued, but
yeah, it was crazy. That was bad. I mean, unfortunately, it already, killed her, but he should have been prosecuted and captured, because that was crazy. And it was crazy that they were, vlogging and video taping and shooting so many photos, so that like it made for a, I hate to say good documentary, but it made an easier story to tell.
Yeah. And as far as Oscars and stuff, I'm still a little behind on some movies. I've kind of I've been watching a lot of classics like King of Comedy and I don't know.
What do you think of that King of Comedy?
I mean, I've seen it, but I've just been going down a list of like great movies, and King of Comedy's great, and Robert De Niro's so great in that. It's like one of the most unique roles he's had. Then I watched Heat, which I've seen Heat once. I watched it again. I don't know, man. I find the movie so boring. I know people are like, this is one of the greatest movies ever. I just think it's like they have endless amounts of fucking ammunition. There's just like machine guns going off at all. I don't know. What do you think of the movie? It's like 3 hours.
I don't love Heat like some people love Heat. I like Heat. Can I tell you a story about Heat?
Yeah.
So Heat was one of those films where De Niro, Al Pacino, and everybody was like, yo, yada, 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 da, 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 da. And I'm pretty sure I auditioned 2 or 3 times for various parts in Heat. What year was Heat?
95, I think.
No, it was a 95, was it?
Let me look. Heat movie, 95.
Oh, wow. Well, it was one of those, movies where it was like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and it was like all, and there's other parts. So as an actor, you're like, oh, I want to be in it. I'll do anything. And I had auditioned like a couple of times for different parts, and I believe I met with Michael Mann for different parts, and he was interested in me in one part, and then they were like, you seem a little young for the part. And then they were like, come back and read for Waingro. Waingro is the one who is the big cock diesel one who Robert De Niro and they wind up killing. And, he said, you're looking at a dead man. Or no, not a dead man. I can't remember what the line was, but Waingro's a famous character in the movie. And I went back and I'm pretty sure I auditioned for Waingro, and they were like, would you be willing to get big? Because the character was like, it was like he was written as big. He's the one who's with the hooker and all that stuff. He's like that actor. And no disrespect, the actor who played it was the totally right actor. But at one point, they were going to possibly offer that part to me, but I had wound up in between getting another film, which I can't remember exactly what it was, because as you can tell, I can't remember. But there was a sniffing around of possibly being in Heat, which would have been sick.
Man,
it would have been such a sick experience, because I know, like, the guys that were in it, the late Tom Sizemore and Val Kilmer, like I've heard them talk about stories, and those are the kinds of like bonding fun movies, and De Niro and Al Pacino where you're just like, yo, what the is going on here? Like, this is insane.
Seeing you playing, especially that role, Waingro, which is played by an actor named Kevin Gage. So seeing you playing that role, like, because I would assume they would have put the long ass wig on you too. He had that like long, like slimy long hair. That would have been amazing casting. And while I was watching, that's really cool though. You should have had a role in that.
It was real. Sure. It was real. It was. I could
totally see you being at least some role in that movie. I mean, they got Jeremy Piven in there.
I remember when I drove to the audition. I remember because they were like, they want to see you again. I just remember I lived on Beverly Boulevard in LA and on Sycamore, and I just remember like it was like. This is when scripts were scripts and it wasn't email. This is before email. So you'd get the scripts or you'd get the sides. And I definitely auditioned for that scene where he's with the prostitute and he kills the prostitute.
Wow.
Like that and another part. But I mean, it turned out the way it turned out, and those guys were all great. But in hindsight, you just those are the things that you remember more so than the end product is the fighting and the struggling and the good, bad, and the parts you get and the parts you don't. And like I always say, to actors and people in show business, you need to be talented is great, but the perseverance and the diligence and the tenacity is almost more important than all the other things.
Oh, definitely. And last thing about Heat also, which was really tripping me out, was Kevin Gage, the guy who plays Waingro, looks exactly like Ted Levine from, like, I literally thought it was Ted Levine from Silence of the Lambs.
Me too.
And Ted Levine is in Heat and has a scene with Kevin Gage. It tripped me out. But anyway, I thought that was kind of crazy. But anyway,
I thought that too.
You did, yeah. Have you seen any other Oscar contenders that you've been like, damn, this was great?
I know that The Brutalist, that 3 hours and 35 minutes is I think it's now streaming, and I plan on watching it. But other than that, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any new stuff.
You're the only person that has told me that they enjoyed Amelia Perez. Everybody that I've talked to is saying that it's like such a shit movie.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought the performances were good. I thought, I'm not a musical person, but we enjoyed it. I thought it was unique. I didn't say it was perfect. Do I think it should be up for, the best movie ever? Who am I to say? Because I haven't seen everything, but I definitely thought it was a very, very uniquely well directed, well acted, fun, totally bugged out story. I thought it was good. I think it's a good film. We dug it.
All right, I got to check some of these out. And all right, well, we're gonna party not in Vancouver. We're gonna party in Edmonton because I've already said I'm down. And we just need to. I want to keep making more videos. I want more positivity. The world's gone. It's a hard time for everybody out there, but we got to just persevere and get through this and keep things light and stay optimistic because we fall into all this other where we're all doomed. So you and I were making our content pre-COVID. We were doing our thing, and then COVID hit, and the world got all up. In the past 5 years have been really up for everybody. But it's just we got to just keep doing our thing. We got to just keep doing our thing and stay positive because there's a lot of negativity out there. And we can feed into it. We could be a part of it, or we can go the other way and spread more love and light. And I know that's all corny and cliche, but like we really do, because all this negativity and all this is adding so many years and so much more stress on our bodies. And you just it's okay to be aware and be, in it, but just also take the time to get away from it a little bit and do things.
Well, we're gonna be up there in Canada. We're gonna be singing and dinging.
That's what I'm talking about.
We're gonna be singing and dinging. And send an email to our guy as soon as we hang up. And we're glad you're back, Deano Casino. We got a great episode and a great nickname. And tell a friend to tell a friend about the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. Miles, Jordan, a.k.a. the Bleach Brothers, a.k.a. the Dust Brothers. Let's end this puppy. Let's take us out of here with something real nice. Let's take us out of here with something real loud. But most important, let's take us out of here with something real funky. I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. Never getting that right. We never get the timing for that right. Anyway, we're out.
I Am Rapaport Podcast.